Hi everyone, it's Jen with Pretty Little Garden, and I'm happy to be sharing a video with you this morning. It's actually been quite a while since I've uploaded a video to my channel, and I was so happy to be taking a walk through my garden on this rainy morning. This actually was my June garden, so this is June 26th footage, and I'm actually just getting a chance to edit and upload my video, so better late than never, but come along and join me. This is my garden in June in Zone 6B in Western New York. I'm just really pleased with my lavender, my blue cushion English lavender that started to push forth blooms and look pretty good after a rough winter. My Shasta daisies are quite tall. This was winter sown last year. I don't think I knew they got this tall, but they're really beautiful in my side cottage garden here. You can see I have some echinacea and rudbeckia in the back there that still need to open up. In this footage, I still had some tulip foliage that I needed to remove. There were some bachelor's buttons there. Clematis Haldane blooming beautifully up against this trellis. Just full of blooms. And interestingly, the other one on the trellis right next to it wasn't blooming nearly as much. And it's the same clematis, the Clematis Haldane. So that was kind of interesting. My Proven Winners Rockin' Play in the Blue Salvia, I planted 3 in the side cottage garden, and they're doing well, getting bigger by the day. And my snapdragons looking great. I need to come in and cut those, harvest those, so they can come again for me, because they are a cut and come again flower. Winter sown last year as well. See, this clematis doesn't have as many blooms, just kind of interesting. It's taking its sweet time. And you can see this is the purple coneflower echinacea starting to open up. My spirea starting to flower. The echinacea, they're just starting to open up. I also planted some zinnia seeds along the front of this side cottage garden border. The double Zahara raspberry ripple, which is a shorter zinnia, but unfortunately I planted them out and we got a severe rainstorm, like literally the next day. So you can see they're kind of sporadic in what has germinated, because I think some of them just got like washed away the very next day, unfortunately. So we'll see. We should get a little bit of a nice pop of color there though. And we're going to take a walk into the back. I'm just noticing this wet spider web. And I'm just taking you back to show you my Generous Gardener rose when it was really in its beautiful bloom. It's kind of past its first bloom now, but this was back, I'll put the date up, mid to early June, when, it first started to flush out. I love how the blooms kind of hang gently. Really beautiful. Just a pale pink color, lots of buds. It was really a beautiful first flush. And since then I have trimmed it back to hopefully encourage a second flush. Really beautiful. So here we are back to June 26th, and yeah, that's my generous gardener, climbing rose, and just a shot of my snow fountain weeping cherry tree with the big canopy. This tree has really grown. And I was just admiring the raindrops on everything this morning. Isn't it beautiful just when you see, just the soft raindrops just laying gently on leaves? I just love that. This is an incredible blush hydrangea. I planted this in the fall of 2025. Looking good. And you can see my just green peony foliage. I'll give you a shot at what my peonies looked like when they were in full bloom. And I'll put the date up. Look at how gorgeous. I did have my peony supports up, but they kind of flopped even with my peony supports. I probably should have raised those peony supports up, but oh gosh, they were just gorgeous. They were just so big and beautiful, these blooms. I loved them. And this is the Dr. Alexander Fleming peony. I have to pick these blooms up. They were so big, they weighed everything down. Okay, here we are back on June 26th. This is early bird catmint. Just finished flushing out, and behind that I have some serendipity allium. That's getting ready to bloom. You can see it's shooting up little buds that are going to open up soon. And in this bed here under my limelight hydrangea, I just have some hardy geranium that's, starting to cover and spread around under that hydrangea. Some more early bird catmint on this side, and you can see these are some zinnia that I received from my gardening manager at work. He actually has a flower farm and, grows all types of cut flowers. So he gave me some of his zinnias. They were really beautiful, all different kinds. So I planted them out in a couple of different areas in my yard. And they're all doing fairly well. I did lose a couple, and I think it's because they were kind of on the edge of my one bed. I think they got too much sun, and when I went to water them, they were sort of on a slope. So I think the water would just kind of trickle down, and they ended up, I think, just getting dried out. So I think I lost 2 or 3, unfortunately, but I do have several that I'm looking forward to the blooms in my garden, and these are under this golden Vicary privet. And we are just walking on my back patio, and I have a few plants in the corner here that have been sitting for a little while. I bought these about a month ago at a nursery called Adam's Nursery, and there are 3 of the Midnight Masquerade penstemon. I hadn't seen them around anywhere around my house, and I had taken my son to a graduation party, and so I stopped at this nursery called Adams, and I saw them there, and I snagged 3 of those. That was some New Guinea impatiens. I'll put the variety name up. I don't think I took the tag out of that pot to show you. Just a shot of my candy mint crabapple tree. You can see my Hicksue hedge. There's my hellebore filling out that corner pretty nicely. And yeah, it was just a beautiful morning. The birds were singing. It was quiet. The neighborhood hadn't woken up yet. My favorite time. I also decided to plant elephant ears this year. I've never planted the colocasia before, so I wanted to see what that was all about. I know it's a pretty popular plant, so I got the Proven Winners variety. I'll show you the name. It's the Island Giants, the Heart of the Jungle colocasia. And I underplanted that with the Safari Dusk, the James Britannia hybrid. It's not currently flowering, or it's not flowering here, but it's currently flowering. And I should insert a little clip of what the elephant ears is currently looking like. Look at how huge this plant has grown in just a matter of, today is, as I'm editing this, it's July 5th, the day after the 4th. And that last clip I showed you was June 26th, so a couple of weeks. Wow. This plant is pretty amazing. I did fertilize it a couple of times with the water-soluble fertilizer from Proven Winners, but wow, I'm pretty amazed by this. And we're just coming up on the second patch of zinnias that I have just on the corner of my patio here. I planted zinnias here last year as well, and they did so good. This is where I lost a few of them, though. The ones that I'm showing you here on the left, they do really, really well, just in this little area. I think I have, is it the Queenie Lime series? Steve, my manager, he gave me a few of those. And I have the Queen Red zinnia as well. I believe there's some Aurora in there. And look at these eucalyptus. They were so healthy looking. I'm so excited for the eucalyptus. Let's see, on the other side, I might have some lime zinnias in here. And the ones on the end here, this is where I lost. I ended up losing a couple. Tried my best, but I did lose 2 or 3. And I think here is the Aurora. Looked like something was eating on a couple of those, but I've been really working hard on keeping them watered and looking forward to seeing their blooms in the garden. You can see my daylily is in bloom. We have had a lot of rain this spring and early summer. Just a lot of rainfall this year in our area. Which helps to make everything look nice and green for sure. This is my Autumn Joy sedum. Starting to put on the new growth and getting ready for its time to shine, which is in the fall time and the autumn time. Hence the name Autumn Joy. Anytime I pass by my pool vacuum, I like to turn it on. And I'm just showing you my Ivory Halo Red Twig Dogwood. I think this is the biggest one of all of them. I have several in my yard. I noticed this little hole here. It looks like something was maybe nestling down in there, not sure. It has a nice variegated leaf. These are Endless Summer original hydrangeas. And here's a beautiful rose bloom. This is an heirloom rose I planted in the spring of 2025, I believe, just about a year ago. And you can see it, the beautiful raindrops again on the leaves. Really beautiful. And it's just putting forth a single pink bloom. It survived the winter, which I was pretty happy about. I think it got chewed down early in the season by the bunnies, but it seemed to have rebounded, so that's looking lovely. I love all the color here, the blue from the blue spruce and the red from my crimson cutie barberries, and the different shades of green from the dogwood and the pine tree, the beautiful allium, I feel like these barberries take quite a while to get going, but once they flush out for the season, I do enjoy their color in the garden. And this is a new shrub that I planted in the fall as well. And it's the candy corn. I can't remember. I think it's the double play candy corn spirea. Another heirloom rose. This is my earth angel. And I'm just showing you a clip from earlier in June. I'll put the date up again where I videotaped the beautiful fresh new bloom. Really beautiful. And we're just coming upon another heirloom rose that was planted spring of 2025 as well. And this is Summer Romance. Looking pretty good. And I'm just taking you back to when it was putting out its first blooms. Just a beautiful, beautiful bloom, beautiful rose. I'll make sure to put the date up. This was, I think, just a couple of weeks prior to me videotaping the current garden. I planted up several containers for the summer. I think I'm pretty much done. There's still a few things that I have left, but you can see here, not currently blooming, but everything is looking pretty healthy. I'll show you what I put in this container. I have the Supertunia Hoopla Vivid Orchid. I planted that last year, really loved it, great color. Also the Angel Face Wedgwood Blue Angelonia. And I also put in some dichondra. This is Emerald Falls dichondra, kind of a little change from the Silver Falls, but I'm loving it. And I also have an osteospermum in here. I think it's in there. This is a shot of it in my front window box. I'm loving this particular Proven Winners variety. I think it withstands the heat a little bit better than just your regular osteospermum varieties. And here I have my everbearing strawberry. I've got some strawberries growing there. I've got to pick those. I also had a couple other plants that I put in the pot right next to it, but I think those may have died, not sure. This is Neon Flash Spirea. You can see there's kind of a combination of new blooms and some old spent blooms. And I just want to show you my window boxes that I've planted up for the summer. Kind of interesting. I had a lot of wave petunias return in both of my window boxes, along with some violas. Wasn't that surprised about the violas, but I was really surprised about the wave petunias returning. We had such a harsh winter. But let me show you what I've got in this container. I have a really interesting Lysimachia. This is the Sunburst Lysimachia or Creeping Jenny. I love the red stem with the glossy green leaf. I also put a coleus in the center here. It's a nice variety of coleus as my thriller. I also have Calibrachoa or the Million Bells, just the pink with the yellow center. And I also have another variety of Million Bells in the other window box. This one's called Goodnight Kiss, Cabaret Goodnight Kiss Calibrachoa. I grew that one the last couple of years, and I like that variety as well. And here I'm just showing you the wave petunias that they came back so beautifully in this window box. The only problem was, they came back so vigorously, but my soil level in the window box was low from when I had emptied it out and I had removed like the top layer of potting mix. So I really needed to add some more potting mix. So I really had to move things around. I tried to salvage as many of the petunias as I could and the little violas while I added potting mix to the top, and then, added in everything that I wanted to for the entire, combination. But I was just so impressed that those petunias returned. And I am loving that Lysimachia, that glossy green color. It's so beautiful. And I'm just walking up to my patio here. I have a couple of containers here. Isn't that gorgeous? That's the Blue Tiara from Proven Winners, that purple flower there. I also have a sweet potato vine in there as well as a coleus, and there's some verbena in there as well. I got those plants as little starts from the garden center, and I just potted them up, and they're doing really well. These are my planters on the back patio, my clematis that comes up so well every year. It's just kind of coming out of its first flush here. You can see some of the petals had fallen to the ground, but I'll just give you a shot of that. I'll take you back to a little bit earlier. This might be a couple weeks earlier. I'll put the date up, and you can see it was really in its prime, going crazy with these blooms. Ironically, though, the other container did not have as many blooms, which was sort of the same for the clematis that was on my in my side cottage garden along the trellis. I had one blooming like crazy, and the other one not so much. But the other ones are catching up. It just was funny how they weren't blooming really with the same vigor. I underplanted. Well, let's see. Oh, we're walking around here. I'll show you what I underplanted with in this container for this year. I did the Supertunia Vista Cool Jazz. You can see that right to the left there of the container. Silver Falls Dichondra that I always love. And I added Bidens this year, the Campfire Marshmallow Bidens Hybrid. I wanted to try that one out. And I've also added Supertunia Vista Jazzberry, which I have definitely planted before and have loved. So I'm hoping these really get lush and fill out really well. I'll be fertilizing them every week. You can see here's a shot of the Campfire Marshmallow Bidens in that other container. And you can see, there's not really that many blooms on this other clematis, but not quite sure why, but it did bloom. You can see some of the spent blooms there, but it just wasn't as floriferous as the other one was. Here are some other containers that are all potted up, ready to go for the summer. Again, I have the Dichondra there. I went with the Emerald Falls Dichondra. Let's see, what else do I have in this container? I did put the Moonlight White Zonal Geranium. I put that right in the center. Not yet blooming, but it's right in the center of that container. I've also got the Supertunia Vista Silverberry. That's all ready to go. I know that'll bloom beautifully as well. And I also picked up this petunia. It's a lemonberry petunia. It had like a really ruffly edge to it. Thought it was really interesting in the nursery. And also, I think this was some just random things that I winter sowed. You can see that I also stuck in that container. And a couple of similar things right next to it in this other container. Again, the Dichondra with the little lemonberry petunia and the Supertunia. Oh, I put the Hoopla Vivid Orchid in here in this one, so a little bit different. And also some winter sowing. Okay, guys, my winter sowing, I just have not had the time with working at the garden center. I've been working like 30 hours a week, and we've had just a really busy time with graduations and family in from out of town. I really want to, do something with my winter sowing, but I just have not gotten around to that. So just keeping it real, guys, keeping it real. Little shot of my Lucy there. I think she was so glad I had the day off today. I think she's really been missing me while I've been at work. So she just came outside, and look at those little relaxed eyes. She's just so happy that I'm working in the garden, walking around the garden today. This is another cool annual grass that I've planted before that I really like. It's called the Fiber Optic Grass. From Proven Winners, it's the Graceful Grasses Fiber Optic Grass. Kind of a cool look to that grass. Just bringing you over to my table on the patio. I've planted up these containers with some Calibrachoa and a Diamond Frost Euphorbia. A lemon cypress in the middle here that I love. I love the look of that, the smell of that, and just the Calibrachoa with the Diamond Frost Euphorbia in this other container. And here I have my raised garden bed. Did a little something different this year. Planted it up with some sunflowers. I've got 4 clumps of sunflowers in this container. Look at that bloom. I love the sunflowers on this plant. I've also planted it up with some vinca. This is my first year planting vinca, the flowering vinca. I usually have vinca vine, but not the flowering vinca. And look at this. I believe this is a Sweet William that just reseeded itself in this container. And I just think it's gorgeous. So this is the name of the sunflower. This is the Sunfinity sunflower. And you basically get endless blooms all summer. You know, it's a branching sunflower. I've just been cutting off the spent blooms and it's been shooting up new blooms. This is the flowering vinca. It's the Titan bubblegum mix. I thought that would just be pretty with the sunflowers. And the last thing I wanted to show you today is just the planters on my back patio. I usually plant some type of coleus in here. I went with this beautiful yellow begonia, though. I just was attracted to it in the garden center. I love the leaf. I love the bloom. Combine that with the Sedona Sunset Coleus and a Creeping Jenny. And I just did the same thing on the other side here. Thank you so much for joining me today as I took a walk in my backyard garden and my side cottage garden on this rainy morning. I'm always happy to share with you. My gardening life is by no means perfect. I have successes, I have failures, and everything in between. And I'm always happy to share with you, share what I learn. That's all you can do every day is just keep on trying and keep on learning. So I'm hoping to post another video soon. I'm hoping to get back to my regular schedule. Usually I try to post at least one video a week, but I know it hasn't been regular like that, you know, in the last couple of months. So thank you to all my subscribers for sticking with me. Have a great day.